Today on Snail Trail 4x4, I show you guys how to plug a tire. Hey guys, welcome to Snail Trail 4x4. I am not your normal host, Jimmy Jet. You can call me Tyler, the radio guy. I do have a couple of other fun hobbies and skills though, that one of them I get to show off to you guys today. The first one here is, of course, tire plug kits. So we're gonna go over how to plug a tire when you're on a trail using one of these simple kits you can get anywhere at your auto parts stores. Check the links below for that Amazon link, the one that works out really well from there. It's always a good idea to carry a plug kit with you when you're on the trails for a number of reasons. First one could be that you just puncture your tire. You hit a rock, you hit something in the trail, you run over a really fat stick that's sticking up and just puts a hole right in your tire. So another reason could be you slice open a sidewall, get a puncture in the sidewall of your tire. And of course, the last one, if you just happen to have tires that are too big, that it's really not feasible to carry your spare with you all the time. So having a set of these in your trail kit goes a really long way, especially if you don't carry your spare like I do, or I don't on the 4Runner. So carry these around. They come in all sorts of different sizes, or at least different quantities, I should say. And I carry probably anywhere upwards of about 20 of these little cords all at one time. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple tools. The first thing that I like to get is vice grips. So vice grips or some kind of wrenches, some pliers, not a wrench, but some pliers, something to grab whatever's in your tire still. Grab onto it and pull it out. If there's nothing in your tire and say you just hit a rock and got a big gash in there, then you won't need vice grips or pliers or anything. The next thing that you're gonna want is a good tire plug kit. So a good tire plug kit, we got lots of different options on the market. The main things that you need to be careful and make sure you get is a tool like this. It's got a nice rough edge here to help clean up the hole and widen out the hole so make it big enough for the cords. We have another tool here, as you can kind of see here. I'll move around. It has a nice hole in the end of it to thread the cords through. This is going to be what we're going to use to punch the cord into the tire. We want tire cords. So you want to carry a lot of these in your tire plug kits and on the trail in your trail kits, especially if you don't carry a spare with you. And of course, we're going to want some rubber cement. All right, so the first thing that you want to do is take a little tool like this. All you got to do is just pull that little valve stem, the valve core out of your tire to let all the air out of the tire. The less air you have in it to start off with, the easier this job is. The next thing you want to have is these vice grips, or some way to grab whatever is in your tire and pull it out if it's still there. So in our case, we still have this nice metal rod. I haven't pulled it out yet to see exactly what it is, but all we're going to do is grab our vice grips, whatever it is, and grab onto that metal piece and just pull it right out of our tire. So you can see, I don't know where that came from. That looks like I might have picked it up in Jimmy's yard here out in front of the shop, but nice piece of chunk of metal that was in my tire, and now we're left with a hole. All right, so what you want to do first here is we want to take that hole that we now have opened up and take this tool here. It's kind of the cleaner scraper. You can see it has a really nice rough edge to it. And what we're going to do is we're going to stick this right in that hole. And don't be afraid to use a muscle and just rub it up and down to clean out the hole, make it a little smoother, clean out some of the unsmooth rubber, because we're going to be putting essentially an adhesive, a glue on here that we need it to kind of glue up to the tire really nice and easily. So just get that nice and clean, get it about this width of this guy here, because now we're going to take those cords and stick it down here in this hole. So these cords are very sticky, so I recommend wearing gloves unless you just want to get some nice stickiness all over your hands. But I'm open the package up here, and you can pull one of these cords out, just like so. So now we have one of these cords out. We want to grab this tool here that has an open end on it here. And what we're going to do is stick this cord right through the end, kind of like threading a needle as best you can with it being so sticky. Here, right through that there. And then we're going to try and grab the other side. Just to work it right on through here until we get about halfway. So right there, that halfway point, that's where we want to be. After we get the cord through the needle, then we want to grab some rubber cement. And the rubber cement should also be in your tire plug kit that you get. What we're going to do is open up our rubber cement. We're just going to give this a nice, gracious overcoating of rubber cement all over our cord here. Looks like I've used this guy before. There we go. So a nice liberal application of rubber cement. Get it all over our cord. The more you have on here, the better your plug will end up and the better it will hold air after everything cures. Now that we have it all over, you can kind of see there, you can take it and get it all over this cord, just like I said. Just like when you're lubing up some bearings, your U-joints, whatever it is, more grease the better, better it comes out. So more rubber cement, the better. The more air places around the cord you can get it, the better it is. I highly recommend for this part of the job, make sure you get the toolkit with a pistol grip tool for this part with the little threaded needle here. It's gonna make this next part a lot easier because this is the hard part of the job. Definitely use some muscles, put your body weight into it. There is no finesse here whatsoever. The goal here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna shove this into the tire, and our goal is to just get it so we don't shove the entire plug in, but only about half of it, because as this comes up, we want the tire to be right about here where my fingers are on the cord, because then when we pull it out real quick, the cord is gonna come out through this gap in the plug at the tool at the end here, and it's gonna leave the cord in our hole in the tire. Like I said, this is the hard part. Use body weight, no finesse, but make sure you don't shove the cord all the way into the tire like I have done before. There we go. So we have it in our hole here, and with the plug in, the tool's in the hole. Now all we gotta do is pull it right out. So just take one quick, swift motion, and there you go. Our plug is in. It's all nice and goopy. The goopier it is, the better it is. That's gonna allow it, once it dries up, to really seal up that hole to make it nice and airtight. Okay, now that we've kind of let this dry up a little bit, we're gonna chip these off, snip these off here, the little ears. These, you don't necessarily have to snip them off. Once it all dries up, it should be good to go. But I like things looking a little bit nice, a little bit neat. Use a tool to snip these off with that is going to be easy to clean, or you don't mind if they get goopy. Try to avoid using scissors because the two blades of the scissors, as they come together, they will actually get a bunch of stickiness and gunk in the rubber cement in between the blades here. So I like to use snips of some kind, wire snip, something simple that just cuts right into it right away. But literally just go down right about there, snip, there's one ear, and there you go. And then I have heard of people before essentially just kind of lighting these on fire, this little stub, the little nub that's left, just to kind of melt everything together and get it melted into the tire. If you used a good amount of rubber cement, then this right here should be perfectly good to go. And this will last for the life of your tire as long as you got that copious amounts of the rubber cement in there. If you want to be extra sure, you can take a lighter to this. Essentially, you have to hold the lighter there for a little bit to catch the actual cord on fire and let that kind of burn and melt a little bit, and it kind of just bonds everything together, the cord and the tire and the rubber cement and everything. So otherwise, if you don't want to burn it or you just kind of snip them down, this will be good to go for life. You should not have any issues with this whatsoever. All right, and there you have it, guys. Once you have the tire all cleaned up, these cords here snipped and cleaned, ready to go, all you got to do is replace your tire valve, the Schrader valve core back in your tire, air it back up, make sure it holds air, and put the tire back on and go wheeling. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to hammer down on that subscribe button, and remember, keep crawling.